All participants have joined.
Yes, most of them, 52, 51 have joined.
How many participants are there?
Sir, actually, we have got registrations for 200 participants.
What? Can we handle so much candidate? Is it possible?
Sir, we have even met the facility of YouTube Live. So 100 will join in the Zoom meeting, and rest of them, they can have this thing, facility of YouTube.
This assignment and all those things, whether it is possible to handle them.
Sir, we don't have assignments for this workshop. When we'll receive feedback from the participants, then we can give them certificate.
Okay.
So
No issue.
no issues of yes, sir, other things. So if you kindly allow me.
Definitely. Please proceed.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. A very good afternoon, one and all. So friends, this is a virtual gathering, or you can say for next 1.5 hour virtual word. And this virtual word or gathering has been arranged to for the UGC sponsored national workshop on National Education Policy 2020. Before moving further, I would like to welcome our dignitaries. I welcome Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Vijay Kumar Chobe sir, in this meet. Sir, very warm welcome to you, Chobe sir.
Thank you very much.
I'm very happy indeed to see him in this virtual meet. I would like to welcome our today's speaker, Dr. Avinash Moril sir, and our director, Professor Prasad Vadegaonkar sir. Sir, I welcome both of you to this meet. And last but not least, I would like to welcome from the bottom of my heart to all teacher participants that have joined from various regions of India to this particular session or meet. So as per directed by the UGC in pursuance of National Education Policy 2020, all that means 66 HRDCs all over India, they will be organizing these workshops, 4 workshops on 4 days. Each will be having 1 hour of the session on a particular theme related to NEP, and that has been directly given by UGC itself. So our UGC HRDC is organizing the first workshop today, and for the inaugural session of this workshop, we have with us Professor Vijay Kumar Chobe sir, who is Pro Vice Chancellor of Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, Amravati. Now, I would like to request Director UGC HRDC, Professor Prasad Vadegaonkar sir, to please deliver his welcome address. Sir, please.
Namaskar. I am audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
So once again, namaskar to all of you. Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor Dr. Vijay Kumar Chobe sir, our guest of honor today and speaker Dr. Avinash Moril, and all my participant friends. As we know that since last few years, we were directly or indirectly involved in framing the national education policy. This national education policy was framed by the government of India with the consultation of almost all the faculties of the universities and colleges by organizing various sessions in various parts of the country. And on the feedback of all of us, this national education policy has taken a shape. And this policy has been now implemented for improvement of the education sector in the India. As you know that since this year, after the pandemic, almost all the universities are gearing up for implementation of this national education policy. And therefore, before we start the session this year, UGC has decided to organize awareness programs throughout the country, and this responsibility has been given to UGC HRDCs to organize over 264 webinars in the span of 15 days, that is the second half of the June. And since the Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University is having one of the HRDC, we are here to organize this host workshops, or you can say the webinars on different topics of national education policy. And we are having the expert like Dr. Avinash Moril. I'm really glad that he is the first speaker for this webinar. I would like to share with you all that he is a former dean of our university, as well as he is a principal of Mahila Mahavidyalaya Amravati. He has been recognized as best principal of the Maharashtra this year. So I congratulate him, and I'm sure that, and you all will really enjoy, and you are going to make your own impression about him when he will finish his talk, because I'm really impressed by the way he deal with the problems, the way he convinced the people, and he is very much popular among the students. So without wasting time, I will request Dr. Varsha Kumar to proceed with the scheduled program. So again, I welcome you all, and I'm sure that this webinar will be very useful for all of us, because we are going to take this into the ground level. We are going to take this up to the students. So I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your kind words. Now, I would like to request our Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Vijay Kumar Chaube, sir, to please deliver inaugural address. Sir, please. We are eager to hear you, sir.
A very good afternoon, one and all, those who are participating and the organizer also. The UGC's Human Resource Development Center of Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, Amravati. The Amravati University has been progressing right now with its very great potential under the chairmanship or under the guidance of our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Malkhede sir. The director of the center, HRDC Center, Dr. Wadegaonkar sir, Assistant Director, Dr. Varsha Lumte madam, the guest of honor, Dr. Avinash Moril sir, the former dean of the university, and all other participants who are making these events a very, we can say, evidence or witnessing this transformation into the national education policy that has been the very dream project of the government. We are really at the particular stage where we need to take a launch our all possible strength in a very specific direction, and specifically this educational policy that has been meant to change the entire world, the entire scenario, or entire, we can say that entire face of the education is now we are just witnessing. All those who are the participants and all over the world, as rightly the director has narrated and the assistant director has also said about this national education policy and the program that has been conducted by the UGC across the India. We are really very fortunate to have such kind of program, and we are really very much fortunate that we are the part and instrumental in this particular things. The very detailed things will be definitely clarified and expressed by our forthcoming guests who are really having the mastery over this particular program. But meanwhile, let me tell you that now this is the time, that this is the opportunity that we are having to be remain relevant to the new transformative phase. If we fail to do that, then I think that it is very difficult for us to be even relevant to the changes that has been taking place across the globe. And rather the contemporary requirement of the society that we need is now we have to comply with those particular things. And national education policy is one way that we can just make ourselves relevant to this particular world. The society is now with great hope looking to the educational sector, And therefore, the educational scenario is also required the drastic change, drastic transformation, drastic, we can say that modification. And with these particular things, there are so many things that we are having in our hand to make the changes. And definitely the detail will be definitely clarified by the entire set of the resource persons that are going to deliver the lecture on this particular things. We are also trying, being the university, we are also trying to make the possible changes in our curriculum, the choice-based curriculum, the credit-based scenario. We are also trying to inculcate that particular things into the curriculum. And we are also determined to be the one of the, we can say that one of the component to make these particular things possible. We definitely, you all are our strength, and we can make a wonder. Combined, we can just make the wonder. We can definitely modify all these things in day to come. And this HRDC has taken this initiative. I'm really very much I have to express my thanks to this particular center, through which the UGC has taken this opportunity to, we can say that, inculcate, or rather I will say the percolate this particular concept of national education policy through these participants, so that it can be further get percolated into the entire society, and we can have the good force to make our dreams true. With this word, I feel that the resource persons are better in position to explain all these things to you, and they are really in better strength and latent energy. They can have the so many concepts to clarify you these particular things. Therefore, with this word, I just hope that this particular program will have the successful event in university, and would be another color, another figure of success to the university as well as HRDC. And definitely, I am very much thankful to all the organizers, UGC, Amravati University, Dr. Dilip Malkhede sir, Vice Chancellor of this university, Director, Assistant Director, all resource persons and participants, along with your teaching, non-teaching staff, those who are making these events are really a successful one. I am lastly very much express my thanks to the organizer, particularly Director and Assistant Director, that they have called me to express my word of thanks to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And thank you very much for such a valuable address to all of us. Now, as it has been planned, within 5 minutes, we'll start with the session. But before that, I would like to express my sincere thanks, first of all, to Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Malkhede sir, because he has guided me to organize this particular workshop. He has suggested some of the resource persons, and continuously he was taking care of all the difficulties that we were facing. So I'm very thankful really to Honorable Vice Chancellor sir. Also, I'm thankful, or I would like to express sincere thanks, my sincere thanks to Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Chobe sir, as in a very short notice, sir has accepted our request and he has joined and addressed to this particular meet. I am also thankful to Dr. Avinash Moril sir, as sir has accepted invitation and he is giving his valuable 1 hour to all of us, to our HRDC. Thank you, sir. And last but not least, I'm thankful to Director Dr. Vadegaonkar sir. Now, with the permission of Chair, we are starting our session, because it is not good to keep waiting our resource person who is going to guide us, who is going to deliver on such a wonderful topic of NEP, that is multidisciplinary approach in NEP. But before that, it's my indeed pleasure to introduce in a very short to all of you Dr. Avinash Moril sir, who is presently principal of Mahila Mahavidyalaya Amravati. He has also worked in capacity of Dean, Faculty of Humanities, Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University, Amravati. And as it has been mentioned in the welcome address by our director, Vadegaonkar sir, that he has recently awarded with Best Principal Award. So congratulations, sir. He has participated in organization of workshops on a draft of national education policy. He has also worked as core team member to design CBCS to be implemented in Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, Amravati from the academic session 21-22. He has also worked as a member of organizing committee of National Education Policy Awareness Program. And he is one of the senior most professor in the field of education, in the field of academics of this region. He has more than 25 years of teaching, administration, and research experience in his discipline. And I know he is a very skilled, very active administrator, at the same time a very a good teacher who has a very you can say close association with the students. And many of the times what I observed is he is connected to the society. He is initiating on his own some of the projects, some of the good things for the students, and continuously we are listening and hearing and studying all the things that he used to send it to all our, the teaching community. And being he has a very close concern even with the NEP and drafting and other things, I had requested him to deliver a session in this series of the workshops, and rightly sir has accepted. Thank you once again, Moril sir. Thank you very much on behalf of the UGC HRDC and personally as a program coordinator. And as I have mentioned all of you, the topic sir has selected, it is multidisciplinary approach in NEP. Now, without wasting time, because all of us, we are very eager to listen him, I would like to request him to please start with the session. Sir, please.
Thank you. Thank you, madam. Am I audible properly?
Yes, sir, you are properly audible.
Thank you. The inaugurator of this National Awareness Workshop, Dr. Chaube sir, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor of the University, the director of UGC HRDC, Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, Dr. Prasad Vadegaonkar, Assistant Director, Dr. Varsha Kumar, all the other staff members of UGC HRDC who made this workshop possible, all the participants who are here to just discuss some of the important issues related to national education policy. Before I start my session, because I'm going to share some PowerPoint presentation with you, one small instruction which I would like to give is that as we are meeting with virtual mode, there may be possibility that there may be power cut at your end, at my end also. There may be internet problem at your end, at my end also. So don't get panic. Sometime it happens. So the things will be restored in few minutes. So if it happens, then just wait and watch for a while. The topic which was given to me, I'm thankful to Dr. Varsha madam for introducing me in such a wonderful way. I don't know whether I stand to that particular level which she has expected. But one thing sure that I would like to, I really love to talk about national education policy, because I had been associated with the grace of the earlier Vice Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Zandekar sir, and the present Vice Chancellor Dr. Malkhede sir. I had been associated with the process of twofold process which is going on with national education policy. One is to spread the awareness of national education policy at the same time. And as it was rightly said by Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, that under the able guidance and leadership of Dr. Malkhede sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University is striving very hard to implement choice-based credit system from this academic session to the undergraduate and postgraduate classes. This is really one of the wonderful things which I think happening in our teaching fraternity and our teaching field is because of the fact that national education policy and any CBCS, both are equally related. They are the two wheels of one same cart. And that is why when these two things are getting together, when these two things are matching, so this is really wonderful to have a discussion about one of the important topics and one of the most liked topics about national education policy, which I personally feel. The thing is that the topic is multidisciplinary approach in national education policy. Now, one thing for sure that as all we are the teachers, sometime in last few years, we had been thinking that something should be changed in our total education system and pattern. Because we are really sensible people, we are really people who think about and care about the future of our students. And as I am also having 25 years of experience, in last few years, I had also started thinking that something should be changed because something is lacking in our education system in a way that the graduates who will pass through our colleges, the postgraduates who will come out of our institutions, they are not exactly getting what is needed in the society and on the job platform as well as the entrepreneurship development platform. There are two platforms of our students' economic independence, as it is very much necessary that when our students get graduated, when our students get postgraduate degree, then they must get something to become economically independent. And there are two ways to become economically independent. Either they can get jobs, or they can go with some entrepreneurship development program and they can become entrepreneur. They can start their own business. These are the two ways, two means to achieve something in their own life. And that's what we are caring. That's what we are thinking of. At the same time, one more thing is that we are expected to produce good Indian citizens also. Now, if you go through the National Education Policy draft, on various pages it is written that our education system is given the responsibility of producing good Indian citizens. Now, on these three points, when I was thinking, somewhere I thought that something is lacking in whole system. The things are going on. No doubt they were going on. No doubt they will be continuing. But at the same time, there must be certain changes which are to be implemented. There must be certain changes which are to be brought. And when I was thinking this, and then came this National Education Policy draft. And this National Education Policy really gave answers to those problems which we were facing, and at the same time, our students were facing. Now, I'm really thankful to Dr. Vadegaonkar, Dr. Varsha Kumar, and all your team for organizing this very particular workshop, because of the fact that how much we do for spreading the awareness is really very much short at this moment. We have to work very hard. We have to deal with the situation in a very strong manner. And I personally thank Dr. Vadegaonkar, Dr. Varsha Kumar and your team for organizing this, because this thought will carry to the teachers. It is very much important to know that teachers are the torch bearer of this particular thought. We are the torch bearers. We have to take that thought to the students. And for that matter, before I start with my presentation, one thing is very much sure, that we should be very much positive about national education policy. I am damn sure that there may be certain things which can be changed as per the implementation, because there is, every policy. Now, it's nothing. I mean, it's not an exception with national education policy. As other policies also, when the policy is described, the policy is taken to the stakeholders, and then they implement it. And I'm sure that while implementing these things, there will be some problems, there will be some issues, we will sort them out. But first thing which is needed is that we should be very much positive about it. Sometimes when I see and when I listen from the teachers that it can't be implemented. No, such a negative approach, such a resistance to national education policy is not needed, because if you go through page wise, if you go through point to point through national education policy, the ideal draft which is mentioned and under the able leadership of Dr. Kasturi Rangan, who is a renowned thinker and a scientist of our nation, the team which had worked, they have almost touched every point of success, every point of development of the student. And that is why it is to be considered. Before I start, the first thing is that we should be positive. Let us take positive approach. Let us understand and let us give a signal to our mind that national education policy is a policy which is purely in the benefit of the students, number one. And secondly, it will be implemented with the dedication and the strenuous efforts by the teachers and teachers only. There is beautiful sentence in national education policy, putting teachers into the heart of the system. It is said that they want teachers to put into the heart of the system, and heart is the most important organ of our body. We know that that is the only thing which governs everything. So that is why teachers are now expected to be at the heart. That means teachers are expected to play an instrumental and important role in the implementation of national education policy. And for that matter, we have to understand all aspects. I'm very happy that various aspects are considered and good speakers are also organized by HRDC. And that is why this workshop will definitely be a successful thing. The topic which I am going to deal with is multidisciplinary. It is called in a way breaking the walls. We just want to break the walls, and I would like to share my presentation with you. So I share my screen, the presentation. I hope, madam, just give me a signal that the screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. Now, multidisciplinary approach in NEP, that is the topic which I would like to deal with. The purpose, basically, we need to understand what is the purpose of this particular topic and what is the purpose which is mentioned in national education policy about multidisciplinary approach. Because you know what happened, that we were binded in the walls of different faculties. We were binded with the subjects, and we, in last few years, what had happened, that we have forgotten to break the walls and enter into the zones of each others. That is what is expected. So what is the purpose of it? The world is undergoing rapid changes in the knowledge landscape. Now, though the things were going on very slowly in our education system, and every change takes its own pace, takes its own way, and takes its own time. But in these few years, the world is undergoing rapid changes in the knowledge landscape. The knowledge landscape is changing. Now there is a need for a skilled workforce. It is not at all important now to just get a degree. If we understand the issue from students' perspective, then it is not sufficient to just be a graduate. The graduates need to be converted into skilled workforce. A very important word is introduced here, skilled workforce. Because we have seen some graduates in last few years who are graduated, who do have great marks on their mark sheets. Now, thanks to last 2-3 years when Corona was there, the mark sheets rate is very much high. But apart from that, before that also, we had seen that mark sheets do possess marks, but the skilled workforce was not available, particularly involving mathematics. Now, this is a more important sentence. See, particularly involving mathematics, computer science, and data science. The next word is important, in conjunction with multidisciplinary abilities across science, social sciences, and humanities. What is expected? That in the job market or in the knowledge landscape now, which is ever changing and changing rapidly, now we need a skilled workforce, which will be very much particular in the science subjects like mathematics, computer science. At the same time, the multidisciplinary abilities of them across the different faculties, that is social science and humanities, also to be interfused in them. That is expected. And that is basically called as breaking the walls. So how these walls are to be broken and how it is to be done. What was the journey? Now, can we say that multidisciplinary approach is a new thing for us? Absolutely not. I'm going to tell you, see, these are the sentences which you find in national education policy. The earlier universities, which had been the great universities of India, like Takshashila University, Nalanda University, Vikramshila, Vallabhi, these were the greatest centers of education. Universities of ancient times, they did have this multidisciplinary approach. And we had seen from the historical pages that in these universities, there were no restrictions of subject, and students may flow from science to commerce, commerce to humanities. Rather, humanities and usually humanities and science were interfused with each other so perfectly and so nicely that it was absolutely difficult to separate them in the form of faculty. Now, we have separated these subjects in the form of faculty for the facilitation of degrees, but at the same time, we need to understand that subjects can't be separated. You cannot, knowledge is like a water. Knowledge is like a water, and you cannot separate it by putting a wall between that. It is not possible. So water, as we cannot separate water, in the same way, knowledge cannot be separated. It is just for the sake of facilitation that we had made faculties. Earlier, there were 9 to 10 faculties. Now there are 4 faculties. But these faculties are for the sake of facilitation. But the misconception, what has happened is that, but slowly and steadily in last few years, what happened, that these faculties became separate compartments where, and moreover, I'm sorry to say, we are all teaching, we all belong to teaching fraternity. What has happened is that we have, I mean, I'm also responsible for that. We had made them as watertight compartments. It was really an unfortunate part of our education system that we were tangled, we were binded with the faculty walls, and we made them completely watertight compartments, like watertight compartments. And that's why flowing knowledge from one faculty to the other was almost impossible. This was the problem which was addressed by National Education Policy, and this has caused a deep loss to our students. Say, for example, if a science student is there, his knowledge about language, his knowledge about philosophy, his knowledge about sociology was absolutely not available. He was not exposed to such kind of knowledge, even if he wanted to do it, but such kind of knowledge was not at all available for him. A science student, though having the competencies of music, was not offered music as a part of curriculum. If he wanted to learn music, he needed to go to some private class. But why can't it be in his curriculum? Why can't he get some credit out of music, which is his earnest desire, which is his intention, which is his liked thing? Now, just think about that. Just think about that. A commerce student or an art student, if he wants to know something about chemistry, now was it possible? An art student going for some chemical, knowing some basic concept of chemistry. Was it possible? It was not possible, because in last few years, we had constructed the walls of faculties, converted into watertight compartments, and that was a big threat to the overall development of the student. What happened actually? That on one hand, we had developed such watertight compartments, people were not at all moving from one to other. Now, this discipline, interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary words were not known to people. People were completely confined with their own faculties, and they were happy about that. But the loss was of the students. Because what happened, that the market in which they are going now, the job market, the entrepreneurship development programs which they are pursuing after their graduation or post-graduation, that whole system has been completely changed. It has completely changed. Now, no matter to which faculty you belong, you have to learn computer. That is the necessity, and that is the necessary requirement of every student. Have we provided the computer education along with arts faculty? I didn't see that. The students were confined to the arts and humanities subjects. They were engaged with those subjects only, like political science, like home economics, like economics, like English, like Marathi. Where is computer? Where was computer? Computer was not available, and even if students wanted to learn it, they had to go for a private coaching class. Why couldn't it be in the curriculum? That has brought the change, and that is called multidisciplinary approach of the education system, and that is highlighted very powerfully in National Education Policy, because National Education Policy believes that such watertight compartments will not work and will not benefit the students. And why we are here? My basic question and my basic point of view, which I always put forth. Dr. Varsha Kumar knows it, that I always put forth, whatever we do, even if this workshop which is organized, it is not for the teachers. I believe if 60 teachers and 73 participants, I see 73 participants are here, and if out of 73, if 70 or 65 are teachers, the great thing is that I always love to talk to teachers, because I feel that if I'm talking to 70 teachers, I'm talking to 70 multiplied by 1,000 at least, or at least 500 students to whom they will address. This is the greatness of this group. This is the greatness and this is the great achievement of the teaching fraternity discussions which we are conducting. And that is why, my friends, we have to be very positive about it. The journey which continued in this way, then now world is changed and now the multidisciplinary approach is the need of time. We have to develop an overall developed graduate. The graduate who will know, say for example, if BSc graduate, if we are producing, so it is necessary that he should know computer, even if he do not have computer as an optional subject. If he is doing physics, chemistry, mathematics just as a subject, then it is not possible. It is absolutely not possible for him just to stick to those subjects. It is absolutely not possible. He has to learn computer. He has to learn sociology. He has to learn some basic modules of human development. And that is the best part of his life. And that will be the best part to produce him as a great graduate. So that is why the world is changing. In due phase, no, it is there, why the world has changed. Now, the people from history background may know all these things, but just for the sake of reference, I am giving this, that the world has started changing after 1991, after the Cold War, post-Cold War era. The post-Cold War era, where the binary power system of the world changed into multi-power system, and when Soviet Union disintegrated, and after that the Cold War ended, and after that globalization started, then the world started changing. The era of globalization where world came together, the connectivity of world, the connectivity of one country to the other engraved in a great manner. And in last 10 years, in last decade, it has reached to its highest point because of the internet, because of the technology. Technology has brought the world together, and that is why that has become instrumental to change the whole world. Now the world has changed. And what are the demands of the world is that we have to produce the graduates who will have these multidisciplinary structures. So now time has come to revamp the education patterns and adopt multidisciplinary approach so as to make our students competent to face. Otherwise, there shall be no satisfaction to teachers like you and me. The satisfaction will be completely vanished. There will be no satisfaction at all if we do not produce graduates who will be competent enough to face the challenges of world, challenges of life. If I'll give an example that if the things are not added to the curriculum, if the things which are needed for the students, if they are not added to the curriculum, and if we do not teach them, if we do not make them competent enough to face these challenges, blame will be to us. It will be our blame. It will be put on our head, and that is why the responsibility is to be shouldered by you and me. And we are competent enough to shoulder the responsibility, and that is why such workshops are very much important. Such workshops which are organized by UGC, HRDC, Amravati University, these are very much important because they will give us a kind of thinking. As I have told you, that there may be some constraints, there may be some objections, there may be some problems, and there may be some questions also. There may be some doubts regarding implementation, how it can be done. But unless we start rolling the ball, it cannot run. At the very beginning, we can't be negative. First, we implement it, and then we'll try to find out. Slowly, it will definitely, for sure, it will be implemented in a phase-wise manner. Remember this. Because sometimes, the question starts that as it is written in National Education Policy, I'm going to talk about it later, but just a reference to that it is written that there will be multidisciplinary colleges, or students will be offered to get admitted to different subjects which are not even available in the college. Now, suddenly one teacher came to me, one of my friends, and he asked me that how is it possible? If you ask me to send my students to the different college, then how they will go there, how their periods will be organized. I have told him the same thing I'm sharing here, that this won't happen immediately. It's a long process, but let us start doing it. At least what we can do is that if there is a 2-faculty college, just take an example. If there is a 2-faculty college, I am a principal of Mahila Mahavidyalaya Amravati. I am running 2 faculties in my college. At least I can do this, that I can offer some courses from one faculty in my college only to the students of other faculty of my college only. That can be adjusted, that can be done, that can be thought of. And that is why it's a journey. It's not the destination. National Education Policy The draft and the policy which is at hand, it is not the destination, it is the guideline. We have to move on that guideline. We have to proceed with that guideline, and that is why I'm telling you the journey. And this model had been very much successful in our India, as our earlier universities did have that kind of model. Now we also can do with that. So the flow, now what kind of flow we are expecting in this particular system? There are 4 faculties: science and technology, commerce and management, interdisciplinary studies, and humanities. These are 4 faculties which are governing right now. Now we can see flow of one subject to the other and the other subject to the other. So I have shown the model in this way, that now the boundaries which were there, the tight boundaries, the watertight compartments among all these faculties, now we need to dilute them a little bit. What is the percentage of dilution? That is why I have mentioned it. And as Dr. Chaube sir, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, has also mentioned the same thing, that the CBCS, choice-based credit system, which is getting implemented now, that also holds this crux of this national education policy of interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary nature. What is the percentage of dilution? Don't jump on the conclusion in the way that now multidisciplinary will shatter all the core and all the crux of the subjects. No, it is not going to happen. I make this as a point. Please remember, this is not going to happen. 80% of the syllabus, 80% of the core part of your subject, of any subject, will remain intact as it is. It won't be hurted. It won't be changed. Remember, 80% of the part. The core part of that subject will remain as it is. But in the span of 20%, this dilution has to be there. We have to dilute those watertight compartments and the strong walls which we had constructed among the faculties. And how that flow can be, as I have given you earlier example, that there can be a very beautiful concept. Now that also falls under the category of multidisciplinary. In Santa Gadge Baba Amravati University, a beautiful concept is evolved. What is that? GIC, General Interest Course, and which is given in the open elective category, where 5 credits will be given. 5 credits, a full paper on GIC, General Interest Course. What is that? General Interest Course is a course which involves some basic fundamentals of a particular subject which are applicable and needed by all people. I'll give an example to elaborate it. If, for example, commerce or economics, say commerce, the Board of Studies of Commerce will prepare a general interest course which will involve some economics policies, some economic things related to economics of the nation, and those, all the things, general terminology, the general things will be included in that particular paper, and that paper will be available for all faculty students. So if we are offering a particular paper to all faculty students, then this is the one of the natures of multidisciplinary approach. The target is something different that is mentioned, and I am going to mention it. The roadmap of multidisciplinary approach in national education policy, that I am going to speak. But at the same time, what is to be changed is that the mindset. Now, why such general interest course in commerce is needed for all? Because now I am a student and teacher of humanities. My subject is English. But now in the changed world, earlier it was not necessary, but now in changed world, what I need is that I must know what is called shares. I must know what is called budget. I must know what is called as fiscal deficit. I must know what is called as the economic development. I must know what are the RBI instructions. I must know what SEBI's work goes on. I must know all the important aspects of economics of this nation as an Indian citizen, though I belong to Faculty of Humanities. Now see the beauty of this particular multidisciplinary approach. If we provide, now keep, I get excited when I keep my humanities student at this particular juncture in this model. That my humanities students, they are studying their compulsory subjects like political science, music, home economics, English, and Marathi. Now there is nothing like economics included in the curriculum, but that student will opt in open elective section, he will opt for general interest course in commerce. And what shall be his benefits? his benefits will be immensely grateful. He will be grateful to us because we will provide him something, him or her, something which is needed to deal his life at. Now, any humanities student will be benefited by such knowledge of economics. If he learns shares, if he learns how it is the functioning of share market, how share market collapses, how share markets raises, how the financial development of the nation goes on, what is called as a budget, what are the implementation and what are the recommendations of budget every year. Now, these things are known by the student. It is necessary for him to develop himself in that way, and such multidisciplinary approach may be there. So if we offer such courses, if we develop such courses, and if we offer them to our students as elective, they will be given a great chance. And what is that chance? To opt something which they desire very earnestly. They will opt something which they desire earnestly. They will go with their core subject knowledge at the same time. They will know something which is very much important for them for leading their life in a very positive manner. I always give this example and I'm quoting it once again. There is a wonderful subject we have prepared. I had been the chairman of that particular committee. We have developed a course called gender sensitization. Now, in the world in which we live, my teacher fellows, my friends, every day when we read newspaper, there are certain news which trouble us, which hurt us. Regarding the improper behavior of young people. It may be a news of a rape, it may be a news of assault, and it may be something which is very devastating, and it really hurts us. Sometime or the other in the evening when we sit quietly, being a teacher, I ask this question to myself, that am I not responsible for this? If a young boy studying in a college, if he rapes somebody, if a young boy and young girl studying in a college are involved in some scandal, if a young girl and young boy, if they are involved in drug trafficking, if I listen, if I read these news, though they don't belong to my college sometime, but I feel that being the person involved in teaching process, some other way, I feel that it's my responsibility. The blame is shouldered on me, because I am not developing and giving the society the good citizens which are expected. From where the good citizens will come? They will come from education system only. I'm not blaming anybody, friends. Absolutely not. Please don't take it otherwise. I'm not blaming. I'm just asking a question which I asked myself 1,000 times. I was talking about gender sensitization. When we see, when we see such assaults which are made by young college-going students, they have raped somebody. If some kind of, we are all adults and we are all very sensible people, and that is why I'm talking like that. What is the first response? The first response is that the students must be sensitized with gender sensitization program. And only girls? No. The boys also. Gender sensitization is a need of time. Gender sensitization is a process in which we need to bring all the students. Now, unless we adopt this multidisciplinary approach model, it is not possible for me or you to provide this training of gender sensitization to all the students. And that is the biggest benefit of multidisciplinary approach in NEP. NEP wants the student to be developed as a holistic personality, with a holistic personality, though he may be a science student, but he must respect the other gender person. He must respect the other gender person from where he will learn all these things. In the society, we find that the structures are crumbling like anything. The structures are crumbling and falling apart. People are completely dissolute about the young generation. We see many people speaking about the devastating phase of young generation, that as they are involved in this and that and that. It's not like that, but the face is being produced in this way. But if we want to change it, then the process is of multidisciplinary approach, which needs to be taken. And that is why the importance is that the students will be benefited with their overall development. We want an overall developed student now. The student who is expert in chemistry will not work only. The student expert in political science will not work only. He needs to know, no political science student, though he may be merit first in the university, but he must know some aspects of gender sensitization. Along with gender sensitization, there is a beautiful subject which we have prepared, that is Indian Constitution, created by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. The Indian Constitution, can it be a subject only? Can it remain? Now, what is the situation right now? Till date, Indian Constitution is limited to a particular chapter in political science, BA Part 2. What about science students? What about engineering students? Is it not necessary for them also to know the important aspects of Indian Constitution? Can we keep them deprived of it? No. But from where it will be done? It will be done only through the process of multidisciplinary approach if we take. And that is why we want students' overall development. And what is that? Because it is relevant. How it is relevant? This is relevant with the changing face of the world. Why we are doing it? Why Dr. Badegaonkar, Dr. Varsha Kumar and all his team, all their team is working strenuously for organizing this workshop? Because we have to, we must know, we have to see, and we have to put these things in our mind. We have to convince ourselves first. Most of the time, we have to convince ourselves. So we have to convince ourselves that the world is changed. The face of the world is changed. And in the changed world, the changed students are needed. And from where that change will come? The change is the name under the title multidisciplinary approach, which we are discussing. And it is significant also, in a way, significant with the changing scenario of the world order and the position of India in it. One more aspect I'm adding to it. If we see in last few years, the position of India in the world has increased in a different way. The world is taking India very seriously. The thoughts of India, the knowledge of India, the processes of India, the scientists of India, everybody who is contributing in the development of the country is proving its mettle on world platform, on the global platform. Globally, we are getting an acceptance that, and the world has accepted now that India can do something very great. India can produce something very great. And that too, let me add that too, with the best flow of humanity and best development of humanity. On the part of science, on the part of technology, on the part of knowledge, we are heading towards a very high-scaled position in the world. At the same time, the cultural values, the ethical values which we are holding from last 5,000, more than 5,000 years. We have got a legacy of 5,000 years of history and culture, and that history and culture legacy will provide us a great strength to take the world on such a beautiful manner, and at that time we will be leaders. And that is why, as it is very much significant, as it has become very much significant, the whole model which is considered has become very much significant at this moment. Adopting this multidisciplinary approach is very much necessary. Unless we adopt it, we are not able to produce good students for the benefit of the society. Now, the best and important point which I would like to highlight is that factors who will bring this new change. Who will bring this? What are the factors? Who will bring this new change? As till this time in my presentation, we have understood and somehow we are convinced that multidisciplinary approach is very much necessary. Now, I have already cleared it. I have already put my point that it will be implemented in a stepwise manner, step by step. It won't be forced on you and me that you have to do it. No, slowly and steadily we can do it. But this will make the new change. The first factor which is responsible as teachers. Teachers need to start. Teachers need to think in a wider perspective now for the development of the students. Wider perspective. My students must learn many things in their life, or otherwise, my students shall learn whatever there is under the sky. Though I am this teacher of a particular subject, it is my responsibility to bring the students to knowledge base which is not faculty limited. which is a holistic approach to be adopted. So that should be my stance, and teachers can do it, my friends. I just quote that Hindi couplet of Arya Chanakya. I usually quote it. शिक्षक कभी साधारण नहीं होता, शिक्षक कभी साधारण नहीं होता, प्रलय और निर्माण उसकी गोद में पलते हैं. That is said by Arya Chanakya, because he knew the competence of the teachers, because he knew the strength of the teachers, and we the teachers are the most strong factor in the whole domain, and that is why teachers can do it. If we really convince ourselves that my students must know a variety of things, I will automatically change myself. I will change my perspective really in a benefit of the students, and to make them competent enough. I'll give an example. One of my teacher's friend, very much creative, very dedicated. He is a teacher of political science. Okay. Nothing to do with other things, but he, along with being a teacher of political science, he has liking in photography. He do have a very beautiful camera with him. Okay. Now, if a teacher decides, he can do miracles. What he did was that he had just pasted a notice on a notice board with the due consent of principal. He put a notice on the notice board that those students who wish to learn photography may meet me at 5 o'clock. That was a notice which was pasted. What happened? The college was having the strength of 1,500 students. Out of them, some 20 students approached him on a particular day at 5 o'clock. And those 20 students were taken by him. He addressed them and he told them that after every day, after the college finishes at 5 o'clock, you all meet me at 5 o'clock, and for 1 hour from 5 to 6, I will teach you photography. He brought his own camera. 2 more cameras were arranged from the college departments. They were handed over to him. And then literally, my friends, he has started a photography course in photography. No permission from university, no permission from any authority. He just asked his principal, and he has dedicated a time which is beyond his college staying time. He was supposed to stay there for 5 hours. He started doing it at 5 o'clock. When his college over, that time he started, shared 1 hour, but what miracle he created. This is the very best example. What he did was that he has trained some 20 students in photography. After graduation, to my pleasure and for his pleasure also, 3 of them are now professional photographers, and they are earning a lot of money. Now, those students were humanity students, some of them were science students. Their graduation knowledge was something different which they gained, but their earning at this moment is due to that particular course which has started by the teacher, which is not even included in the curriculum. This is the miracle of a teacher. Now just imagine that in the domain and in the umbrella of multidisciplinary, all such courses, if they are brought within the domain of curriculum, how beautiful it will be, and all the students will be benefited. In that college, only 20 students were benefited. Henceforth, if choice-based credit system is appropriately implemented, and with the support of the teachers, if national education policy is implemented in a strong manner, then the 1,500 students, all the students will be benefited, because all the variety of the things will be included into the curriculum. And that shall be the best of part of it. The second factor, students. Now, to who is responsible to make aware the students? Teachers. Teachers are responsible to flow the awareness to the students, and that must be the expected outcome of this particular workshop from Dr. Vadegaonkar and Dr. Varsha Kumar also, and even UGC, as UGC has directed. Why this workshop is for teachers? Because teachers are the mentors. Teachers can think something very great for the students, and they can take the things to the students, and that is why I am talking to the teachers, whom I consider that the greatest potential force. The greatest potential force, teachers. Teacher is the greatest potential force. Teacher can do something which can't be done by anybody. So that is why the students, then industry and market. We have to bring industry and market near to our education system. Multidisciplinary approach will give that particular idea and that impetus, that will give that momentum to reach out to that. Just studying Marathi subject will not work. We need to teach the students that how to write Marathi in newspapers. Now then internship will provide them a facility, a chance to reach out to a newspaper agency, a newspaper office, where they will spend 1 month as an internship there, working there and knowing the field work, knowing the things on the field. And after that, that newspaper agency will spot out 2 to 3 students who are very good, and immediately after their graduation, they will be employed. This thing can happen. There is always scarcity of good reporters in all newspaper agencies. I have a lot of friends in media. So that is why I know from them that they want good people who are able to write in a very best manner, who are able to create some news, and they always in need and always in search of such students. But if we provide those inputs to our students at the time of graduation, then immediately after graduation, they will be able to do it. But this will be only possible after adopting this multidisciplinary approach. An engineering student, if he wants to develop and create a factory of him, he can be an owner of a factory. He must know how to write project. He must be able to create a project report, and that should be his potential. And from where he will get that potential? Because English is not a subject which is taught in engineering, but he can go with the general interest course created by Subject English or Board of Studies of English in Humanities. Now the general interest course will contain content writing, report writing, and all these skills were adopted by that particular engineering student. After his graduation, when he will go for some loan sanctioning, or he will go for some funding to get funding from market, he will be able to write his own report, and from where he will learn that knowledge, he will gain that knowledge out of multidisciplinary approach which is necessary. And finally, the society. Unless we convince our students, unless we are convinced by ourselves, unless industry and market is related and go hand in hand with the educational institute, otherwise industry and market are quite away, at a far distance from educational institutes. They must come within the domain of educational institute, must learn the things, must know how the things are going on. And if they go on sharing the things which are needed, and if we are ready to adopt those changes in our curriculum and adopt the format of interdisciplinary nature, multidisciplinary nature, then students cannot be stopped. And that is why now we are heading towards the final structure of my presentation, and that is the roadmap of NEP. What is said in NEP is that establishment of large multidisciplinary universities and HEIs. This shall be the face of our education system henceforth. We shall be changing all these things, and there will be large multidisciplinary universities and HEIs, which is the need of time. Vibrant multidisciplinary environment shall be created, and we are the creators. We teachers are the creators for that. We can create this vibrant multidisciplinary environment where we will offer number of subjects which are very much important for the students, like gender sensitization, like the concepts in environment, like environment protection. All these concepts are so important, and all these concepts are very much necessary to be known by every student. We cannot, as I have told you, that we have differentiated our students for the sake of facilitation of the subjects. But we cannot differentiate them from one faculty to the other, because all the knowledge from different faculties are needed for the holistic development of the student. Which knowledge will be useful where? We cannot just judge it. Now, is it not necessary for the commerce students and science students to know the soft skills? No, soft skill. I have also delivered many lectures on soft skills in the university to the departments. Now, I'm thankful to the departments in the university. Now, majority of them are science departments, but they have called me to deliver lecture on a communication skill. Now, why? Dr. Vadegaonkar himself had asked me to deliver a lecture to biotechnology students. Now, those biotechnology students, they were undertaken by Dr. Vadegaonkar with a workshop by me, a man from humanities, to talk about communication skills. Now, why Dr. Vadegaonkar thought that the biotechnology students need communication? Because communication skill is a general topic which is needed by everybody. His biotechnology students, even if they apply somewhere, even if they go somewhere, even if they make a product, and if they want to sell that product to the community, they will need communication skill. So where is the boundary? Now earlier it was a boundary. It was a boundary, and there was a thick wall that a man from humanities like me, Dr. Avinash Moril, won't be able to go to Dr. Vadegavkar's department because that belongs to science faculty. But now we see the change, and the change is mentioned here, and that is why the vibrant by 2040. Now this is the point which I was making. Don't underestimate the things in a way that the things will change altogether at a moment. It's not a momentary change. Slow by slow, steadily, process by process, step by step, the things will change. The target which is kept by 2040, almost 18 years after target. The target is of after 8. But unless it is started in 2022, it can't be achieved in 2040. Why Dr. Kasturi Rangan has rightly said that it should be by 2040, all the educational institutes will be multidisciplinary. Why he said in 2020? Because he knew that the implementation of this policy will take a long time. It's a slow process. So understand the importance of it. Let it be slow, but unless we are the pioneers, and the fortunate thing is that we are blessed. We are blessed in a way that all the teachers who are involved in this workshop, I can assure you that if you really by heart accept the multidisciplinary approach, we are going to be the pioneers of this particular thing. The target which is kept by Dr. Kasturi Rangan and his team in National Education Policy, that by 2040, all the HEIs will be multidisciplinary. All the HEIs will be multidisciplinary. So it is to be kept in mind. Just a moment. You just give me a moment. Just a moment. So the roadmap makes it in a way that the aim is to increase GER from 26.3% to 50% by 2035. The gross enrollment ratio. Now we are struggling to bring the students to our education system. Right now it is only 26.3% GER, general gross enrollment ratio. The target is kept to make it 50%. But my question is that, are we going to make this 50% again with the same domain which we were following? No. We have to think that the world is changing in a very large way. It is changing in a different manner, and that is why the raise will be more than 25%. So if it is approximately 25%, then the 25% students who will enter into higher education, they will get something which is very much important, called as in the multidisciplinary approach. By 2030, there will be at least one large multidisciplinary HEI in one district. So at least in one district, one multidisciplinary college will be there. That also is a roadmap. Vibrant multidisciplinary HER clusters to enable cross-disciplinary teaching and research. So research and teaching will go from in a cross-disciplinary way, and it will flow from one person to the other. The students also will be benefited out of it. That roadmap takes up the final thing which is mentioned here. The aim is to develop all capacities of human being, intellectual. It is not necessary that students should be intellectual only. Aesthetic, they must develop with aesthetic approach. Social, physical, emotional, and moral in an integrated manner, and develop well-rounded individuals that possess critical 21st century capacities in various fields. In 21st century, we need to develop different students. As we were students, the approach was different, but now in 21st century, our students will be different, and they will entangle, they will be shaped with all facets of humanity, like intellectual, aesthetic, social, physical, emotional, moral, in an integrated manner. And that will really make the things possible to create well-rounded individuals. What is said? How beautiful the word is. Well-rounded individuals. So the well-rounded individuals which will be developed, and out of that, then the humanity will be created in a strong manner. So this is in all what is considered as the multidisciplinary approach in national education policy. I request all the teachers, all my fellow fraternity people, it is very much necessary that to know and adopt the things in a very positive manner. Let us understand the positive aspect of this particular concept and then adopt them in a stepwise manner. I request you to deal with it in a small scale. We can start it at a very small scale in our small college, but then definitely, surely it will develop, and then all the requirements and all the ideals which are posed up in national education policy, in the form of national education policy and in the form of the multidisciplinary approach, those will be addressed in future. Future is for our students. Future is for India. On a global platform, our nation will prosper and it will place itself on a very high level. At that moment, when our students will deal with the situation, when our students will be competent enough to represent our nation on a global platform, that shall be the day when we will feel proud of this moment. And what is this moment? This moment is the organization of this workshop under the guidance of Dr. Vadegaonkar and Dr. Kumar, that they have organized this workshop, made us to discuss an important aspect of our teaching fraternity, and they have inspired us to come up with some great ideas for our students. Because, my friends, at the end, what I say is that the whole affair is not for you and me. There are thousands of students who are waiting for you and me, eagerly and desperately. They are not supported by anybody. Some of their parents, some students do have their parents who do not even have gone to the schools. They are laborers. They are very poor people of India. And their children are given to us. We are their real guardians. We are their real guardians. And that is why when I see that there are 100 girls in my college sitting in a classroom with eager and desperate mind and eyes, they see to me that my teacher is going to bring a change in my life. Who will bring change? Their parents are busy in earning their day-to-day wages. So we are there. So, my friends, take the baton in the hand. Take the baton in a way that we will definitely pursue some multidisciplinary approach in the best possible manner and develop our students in so competently that in future our students will be either economically independent or they will go with some entrepreneurship development program which will be beneficial for them, and they will stand as the competent citizens of this nation. It is the responsibility of you and me, and I'm sure that we will definitely deal with that responsibility. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Participants, if somebody have any question, or want to discuss anything in concern with the topic delivered, please come forward. Anybody?
Ma'am, can I say something?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. It
afternoon.
was a very wonderful lecture. I am Dr. Navdeep Kaur from Department of Law, University of Jammu. Being a teacher of law, I would really appreciate, sir, for having this kind of approach. And I have really found this is for the first time I got a chance to know about this national education policy, and I'm thankful to your university as well for this thing. And I have really found that this multidisciplinary approach is really very important for the present generation to grow, because we have seen, as I was earlier from the science background, I had very few options left when I had to go to the university. And because if somebody is not able to qualify medical entrance, he's or she's left with no option but to go for BSc or but to go for MSc or like that, even if that student doesn't want. So though I shifted my field because I was not satisfied with that, continuing with that thing, had I not got an opportunity to become the part of the law faculty, I would have really maybe suffered from the frustration. And this is the thing which is bringing a frustration in the children, because most of the parents have seen forcing the kids to opt for medicine or for engineering only. And once they fail in that area, the students, they are left with no options but to lead a very frustrated life. Even for my kid, I was of the opinion that she should go for medicine, and she said, Mama, I don't want to go for it, I want to change the field, I want to opt for law. And I am so happy that I agreed to her decision of choosing law, because the perspective now with which she thinks about the country, with which she thinks about humanity, that is, I was not having at the time when I went for doing my BSc, right? And regarding the constitution, which the point which sir made, I believe that it should be introduced from the school level itself, because we are now we are a diverse country, and in order to become have that kind of a feeling of unity amongst all, at this point of time, when we know that the circumstances are not as such as we desired that or the results the education will bring, so I feel that this giving the information regarding the constitution, regarding your rights, the law, it is really very, very important. And if they come to know about it, certainly the goal which is there provided in the UN Charter also, which says that the nations, they should cooperate with each other in order to bring up an ideal human being, and that's the only way that we develop him in such multifaceted manner that he feels or she feels satisfied. And gender sensitization also, which he referred, it's the need of the hour. Not only the students, even the teachers also need to know about it, because we are working in certain conditions where the female force, that's also increasing. So female also needs to learn about how to respect the other counterpart, and the male as well, right? So I'm very grateful to sir that he brought forth the idea behind this policy. Thank you, ma'am, for affording me this opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your views over here, ma'am. And I'm very happy that you have been joined rightly from Jammu. Yeah, thank you, thank you. So anybody else wants to put your inputs?
Yes, madam, I would like to ask
Sir,
Dr.
please.
Moore.
Yes. Please, sir, proceed.
Good afternoon, Muril sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
I being the principal of Science College, I do another branch than Science faculty. So if any student demand subject other than sciences, so what will be the practical approach that I can get those subjects available in my college?
Sir, I know that yours is a science college, and as I have rightly said, that it is the responsibility of the teachers to move forward. Now, as you are having all the science subjects, but like subjects like Indian Constitution, or subjects like gender sensitization, any teacher from your college may go for one course which is available. On MOOCs also the course is available. It is not necessary that it is the students can go only for the course. Teachers can also go for the course. He can do the course and he can make himself competent enough to study that particular gender sensitization course, and it will be available for your students also in the open elective category. So
Okay,
in future, if your students go for open elective category like gender sensitization or Indian Constitution, and any of your teachers, if he is able to teach this, anybody can teach. Definitely, I personally feel that subjects like Indian Constitution and subjects like gender sensitization can be taught by any teacher of any subject, just studying after 6 months. So if he makes himself competent, your students will be able to do it, sir. That can be a good start. At the same time, sir, I would like to add that your teachers of science teachers can prepare some general interest course from your science subjects, and they may be offered to the other college students also. Online also, maybe they may be available. So your teachers can take lead in that.
Okay, sir. That's a good idea.
Hello. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, Bothe sir, you are audible.
Hello.
Sir, I think thanks for the nice presentation. It was beautiful design. I think
Hello, I would like to ask question.
unless we implement academic bank of credit and we stick to the 80-20, I think it will destroy the very purpose of the NEP. So if you really want to implement the intent of NEP, I think we should think of academic bank of credit. Then or how to design the syllabus. Relevantly, linking this all to the NSQF so that the NSQ, the multi-entry, multi-exit, multidisciplinary, whatever, ABC, everything, the multi-entry, multi-exit, choices to the students. I think it should go by the choices of the student. As a, like many discipline, as a computer person, I feel this should be studied by all. As a law person, some they may feel that these are the subjects should be studied by all. That's not the purpose. Purpose is let the student choose what are you put forward, like why they should be studying. After studying this, what they are going to get out of it. Once we put, and the academic back of credit will is the only way I think forward, which will help us to put forth this in front of a student, as well as the student will get a choice. Then when it comes to the degree, I think we can count the subject they opted, major subject that can be a discipline. If you fix that 80% would be core and 20%, and that again comes to, already we have 20% open elective and the elective subjects in the system. Does that mean we are not going to change anything in that? So that's few the points which I think which I would like to bring up. Definitely, whatever you have shared, I completely agree. The things that need to be taken care. But I think we should talk about 2 points: ABC, Academic Bank of Credit, and the continuous evaluation, which is like the most important aspect, in my opinion. I may not be 100% right. You have studied that very well, so I'm. But I think these are the 2 points we need to take care of.
No, sir, you are 100% right. I agree with you that these are the 2 things which are very much needed to be addressed. And for your information, now the universities have started working on it. It's little bit a tough task to be done, but it has already started. Slow by steadily, everything will be implemented. And I agree one point which you have made, apart from this, the multi-entry, multi-exit, that also should be implemented very quickly, because students will be benefited out of it. Thank you so much, sir. Great. Thank you. Thank you.
Avinash sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, madam.
I'm Dr. Kavita Pandey, joined from Mumbai. Sir, I have a question. I work as a placement officer. So there are many things which had been covered in NEP in terms of skill education and life skilling, vocational education. So my questions to you that how does it impact having a multidisciplinary background from the employment perspective of students?
Okay. That is what, I have mentioned it, but I'll just repeat it that unless we provide some additional information and additional knowledge, as your placement officer, you must be knowing that what kind of things are needed by the students. And sometimes what we feel is that, like, as I was telling you, the skill development. Now, skill development, unless it is implemented with respect to the subject. Now, in Santa Gadge Baba Amravati University, what we are planning is that every subject will be distributed into 3-way. Theory part will be there, multiple choice will be there, and there will be 20 marks skill module. So, for example, if a student of history, if he is studying history subject, he will go with one module with tourisms as a subject. So, tourism will be a skill which is given to him. For semester 1 to 3, it will enhance a little bit, and after 3 semesters, he will get one certificate of that skill. Same in the same way, in last 3 semesters, he will get a certificate of archaeological studies of India. So a student of history, for example, will get 2 certificates and knowledge of the practical approach of the subjects. Now, unless we give the students the practical approach of history, otherwise a student will ask, why I should go for history subject? How it will give me employment? So this is the answer, that if he learns the archaeology, if he learns tourism, then he may join some tourism company and he may get employed. So this is the approach which we are taking now in national education policy, and multidisciplinary approach helps this. Because this tourism subject will not only available for history student, but a science student may also will be able to opt it. And this is the way in which a vibrant culture will be developed.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Madam,
Yes, sir. I think
what I do is that I share my
Presentation.
mail ID, presentation also, but I share my mail ID in the chat box.
yes, please.
I see that a wonderful group of people here, and I'm thankful to you. People are really eager. So I share my mail ID. So
Yes.
those who want to talk, want to share their thoughts with me, they can just write to me. I'll address. Okay.
Please, sir.
So I just write it down. It's very easy, Avinash. Then my date of birth. So on that date, we can meet. And gmail.com. It's very simple. So,
Sir, your LinkedIn profile link also, if you share, we can connect you.
yeah. I share that. I'm there on LinkedIn. So that also. But this is my email, avinash301071@gmail.com. I am thankful to all of you. You are so interested in the things, and I would like to share and you know your experiences also, as we are from variety of institutions and various parts of India. So we will definitely work as a joint venture in future. Okay, madam.
Okay, sir.
I need to move to
Yeah.
college, so I'm
Yeah,
sorry
I know,
that I'm just
I know.
stopping.
Sir, thank you so much for such a wonderful presentation and session, as usual, as expected, because I know I had listened so many lectures of your and your presentations also. So on behalf of the UGC HRDC, also personally as a coordinator, thanks a lot for opening this particular series in a fantastic way, as it was expected. And one more instruction for all participants: you will get feedback form or link on your mail itself. So send the feedback. After that, you will get the certificate. So with the permission of our resource person, Dr. Moril sir, and with lots of thanks to him, I would like to conclude this session, and I would like to declare that this session has been over or completed. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Vadegaonkar sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.